Hi everyone, Annette Kessler here with a new video tutorial, and today I'll show you how to make a tunnel effect in 3 different projects. So we're going to start with our base and fold it in half. This is going to be the base of our card. Next we're going to bring in the pages. You can use a double-sided cardstock, make things faster. We're going to score each of the pages at 1/2 inch on each of the long sides of the page. So score it 1/2 inch, turn it 180 degrees, and then score it 1/2 inch on the other side. We're going to repeat that with all 4 pages. So once you're done with scoring all the pages, we now need to create windows in all the pages. And basically the windows get bigger and bigger as we move forward. So we're going to start with our bigger window, and we're going to draw lines, 4 lines, 1/4 of an inch from the top and the bottom, and 1/4 from the right and the left score lines. So align your ruler with the score line, and then mark a little mark on the 1/4 inch on each side, and then simply draw a line. And then we're going to do exactly the same thing and align the ruler to the top edge and mark 1/4 from the top and 1/4 of an inch from the bottom, and again draw a line. And this will tell us exactly where to cut later. You see that now we have a rectangle in the middle. That is going to be our window. So this is the first window. For the second window, we're going to do exactly the same thing, only this time we're going to measure 1/2 inch from the score lines and the top and the bottom. So we're going to repeat that process, align the ruler with our score line, and mark on 1/2 inch on both sides, and then draw 2 lines. Next, align your ruler with the top edge and mark again 1/2 inch from the top and from the bottom, and draw 2 lines. This is going to be the second window. It's slightly smaller. For the third window, we're going to draw our lines 3/4 of an inch from the score lines and from the top and bottom edges. So exactly like we did before, only this time we do the little marks 3/4 of an inch from the score lines and from the top and bottom edges, and then draw the lines, and that will be our third window. And lastly, for a fourth window, we're going to mark 1 inch from the score lines and from the top and bottom edges. So this is going to be our smallest window. So we're just going to align our ruler and do all the marks, draw the lines, so we will know where we need to cut them later. Always make 2 points to make sure your lines are straight. We want the windows to be straight. Next, bring your cutting knife, your craft knife. It's the easiest way. Don't use scissors, and simply cut away all of the windows. It's going to make sense. So we're going to start with the smallest window and attach a piece of cardstock. It can be solid color, it can be with a pattern. You can attach it to the back. This is going to be the back of our card. Next, bring your second size window, align it with the first window, and start attaching your elements. So I'm attaching trees, I'm only applying a little bit of glue so I can attach them to the side of my window. Don't put any glue in the center, otherwise everything will get stuck together and we don't want that. So apply a little bit of glue just to the edge of the shape and attach it to the front of the window. You see how the scene is starting to, this sticks a little bit, so I'm removing that. You see how the scene is starting to come to life. I'm going to attach a little ornament on the top of the window as well. On the front of the window on the bottom, like this. Now my tunnel is ready and I can go ahead and assemble it. So we're going to bring back the base and start attaching our windows. We're going to start from the smallest window, apply glue to the left side tab, aligning it with the center fold, and simply close the card like this. So those little tabs are going to create the distance, the gaps between the windows, and give us the 3D effect. Next we're going to attach the second window, apply glue to the left tab, and then align the edge with the first tab like this, very close, and then fold it to the right like this. Make sure it's burnished, it's straight. Then the third card, the third window, apply glue to the left tab, align it with the previous one, and attach. And then we're going to attach our final window, which is the largest one, the one that goes on the front. And again, we're going to apply glue to the left tab, align it with the previous window, and attach. So now all our windows are glued to the base on the left side, and we need to attach them together on the right side. This is how it's going to be. You see how the 3D effect is formed? Isn't that cool? Really like this. So just close the card, make sure everything works properly and everything is aligned. Okay, so now we need to attach all the 4 right tabs to the card. So we're going to bring our last piece and we're going to score it at 2 inches to create a fold line. Then you see you have a larger part and a smaller part. So the smaller part goes on the left side like this. So we're going to apply glue to the inside of the right side of the card and then along all the tabs like this, while everything is flat. Everything is laying flat now. So along the tabs, the right tabs, and then we're going to attach the cover, aligning it with all the edges on the top, the bottom, and on the right, like this. And once that's attached, it basically hides and attaches the right tabs together, and this is our card. So now just fold everything, make sure it works. Isn't that cool? I really love this card. And you can create any scene that you want. So this is the tunnel effect in a card. Next I'm going to show you how to make a tunnel effect on an art journal page that is 2-dimensional instead of a 3-dimensional tunnel effect like on this card that we did. So I'm going to work on one side of the art journal, and what I'm going to do is start with some old book pages and just going to spray them a little bit with some paint, some sprays. I want them to be colorful. The good thing about these sprays is that they're transparent, so you can still see the letters and the sentences through the paint. Just going to add a little bit of distress ink as well. And I'm going to start adding the same distress inks on the outside of my page, just on the outer frame. The same 3 shades of yellow, actually it's yellow and 2 shades of orange, on the outside of the page. You can do this with acrylic paints if you don't have distress inks. It's just the technique that you want to follow. So what I'm going to do now is tear my book pages into an oval, and then I'm going to start building a tunnel. And since the first page is kind of small, I'm going to use 2 different pages to create a larger oval around my page, and that will be the first layer of the tunnel effect that I want to make. So I'm going to cut this in half, tear this in half, and then take another book page. I'm using gel medium. You can use Mod Podge to attach the book pages to the art journal page, and I'm sealing the top of the old book pages with another layer of gel medium or Mod Podge if you're using. That will allow me later to add more paints or ink or whatever I want without smearing the sprays. So basically you see that I am building a large oval around the page with the pieces of the old book page. I don't care that I have a gap in the middle. I'm going to cover it later. So this is the first layer, and now I'm just going to add smaller and smaller layers by tearing the old book page and attaching them to the art journal page. So now it's a little bit difficult to see the layers, but I'm going to show you how to make them really visible. So in the center, I'm just adding an eye. This is my smallest layer, and now I'm taking a marker, going around the edges of each of the layers, and that will give me the tunnel effect, because now all the layers are visible and we'll see smaller and smaller layers. So this is a 2-dimensional tunnel effect, and I'm just going to add a little bit of text saying tunnel vision or focus. So that's a question for every day for us in life. So I really like how this page turned out. Next, I'm going to show you how to make a tunnel book, a complete mini album with a tunnel effect that is really easy to make. So for the mini book, you need 6 by 6 pages, and you need to cut circles inside them, starting with the larger circle. And then once you've cut your larger circles, the other circles get smaller and smaller. I do about 1/4 of an inch difference between each of the circles. So each circle is smaller by 1/4 of an inch than the circle before it. And of course you need to use double-sided cardstock because it's a book and you need both sides of the paper. Now once you finish cutting everything, simply arrange it with whatever you want to be on the front and or on the back. And you see how the circles get smaller and smaller here. And then the binding mechanism is also very simple. You need to cut 6 by 1 inch strips of paper, again from the same collection, so it will all look matching. And then each of the strips you score in the center vertically. So once all the strips of paper are folded, you put your glue on one side and then attach the first strip to the paper while the fold faces the right or the outside of the page. And then you apply glue on the other side of your folded strip and attach the next page. And you repeat this process until all the pages are connected together. And of course, make sure that you go by the order of the circles from the larger one, which is the first page, to the smallest one, which is the last page. This will create your tunnel effect with the circles. Also, I want to say that you can create a tunnel book with square openings or heart openings. It doesn't have to be a circle. Okay, so this is the last page. And I have one last strip of paper that I want to attach to the outside. And for that, I want that strip of paper to be a little bit flexible. So other than the one score line that I did in the center, I want to do 2 more score lines on each of the side of that center fold line, about 1/16 of an inch apart. And that will create sort of a flexible spine with those 3 fold lines. So I can attach it to the outside of my book for extra strength and for it to look nice. So I'm just applying glue and attaching it on both to the front and the back. So basically our book is ready. This is the tunnel book. This is how it looks. Now all you need to do is start adding embellishments. So I really hope you like the tunnel effect in all 3 projects and that you'll give it a try. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click on the little bell icon to be notified when I upload a new video, so you won't miss anything and you'll be able to follow all the tutorials and make all the projects. Thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you next time.